all of my videos are so serious, or more serious than I want them to be. So, yeah, shitpost video time, folks. I'm going to be reading off the hell that is my TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, all that stuff. What am I going to read off? I'm going to read off the things that are on my screen. It's going to be a variety of things. And what am I trying to like? I don't know. What am I trying to depict here? What am I trying to display? I'm trying to display that there's so much garbage, there's so much clutter, there's so much rubbish on people's screens that they just bypass, and I want people to start holding companies accountable and holding content creators accountable for making slop, right? And lo and behold, I have opened the YouTube app on my phone, and I see heartwarming RPG sensation, tap to jiggle, and there is a sharp-toothed woman, quite buxom, and she is looking at me elatedly. She has horns. They are brass or light fecal in their coloration. Her countenance is not erotic in nature, rather just more so pleased, but she is rather buxom. She is a busty young lady, I assume. And yeah, so we're getting right into the nitty-gritty of this. And I'm not going to say the name of the company for obvious reasons, but like, is this the kind of content we need to make in order to garner a sort of following? I think that's disgusting. I don't think you should be allowed to do that on a website like YouTube. I think I have nothing wrong with the industry. I'm going to put in capital, proper noun capitalization. I have nothing wrong with that industry appealing to younger individuals or people seeking some sort of harmless debauchery, less or more, right? But these things are targeted to people that make it a habit, and these are the people that will, go out of their way and find things like this so they can debaucher themselves, right? And that's the first one here, right? And here we have scantily dressed artificially intelligent generated characters walking with their rumps, their tokesim, right? I think it's a Yiddish word. I don't know how the plurals work in Yiddish because it's a Germanic language, but it uses a bunch of Hebrew stuff. Not the point, right? With their tokesim, shaking, and again, this is on an app where I am not actively seeking out these things, and it's pushed upon me, right? What else is being pushed upon me? I see advertisements for NBA 2K. That's relatively normal. I'm seeing things talking about shaming women and uplifting men. Look at how great Robert Downey Jr. is. I like Robert Downey Jr., but they called Sabrina Carpenter fat. Another artificially intelligent generated woman, right? I'm wrestling with putting I don't know, a visual element in this video. Not that I'm going to, but then I would expose the people creating these adverts, and they might come for me despite being full aware of what they do, right? And just all of these images, and it's not that they're women, but women don't in generally I would say that women, they don't have that community, or they don't have as large of a community of people seeking the depravity of such content. So it's always women all these women with accentuated features, all these accentuated objectifying features that are marketed to, this erotic media that no one is asking for this media to be made, and yet it does, right? It'd be different if it was like an album cover or whatever. Work hard, play hard, dual action, sex RX plus, testosterone support. I've never ordered testosterone supplements. I'm as transgender as the next guy or gal or, whatever. And maybe I could use a little testosterone, but I don't know. I'm not, I'm not, I don't do this shit on YouTube, let alone, I'm not engaged in this media, and I've never engaged, but I think it is because, I made my account under a man, right? These things are naturally, shot my way. I watch a lot of female content creators, or female identifying content creators, because they're not even, I don't even need to justify it because it is verifiably true, but I've been watching a lot more than men recently because of the kind of content. Like, I've been watching a lot of like psychology or like book reviews, and women read more than men statistically, but yeah, like, I've been watching that sort of content, and I think there could be that sort of trigger, but it's not erotic media at all. It's this media focused on books. So I'm not seeing, I'm seeing K-pop Demon Hunter characters in bikinis. I think it's K-pop Demon Hunters. I've never actually watched the program, but not that I watch much telly anymore anyways, but like, I've never watched K-pop Demon Hunters. I barely recognize the characters from that goddamn Me and the Divas drinking our Labubu, or drinking our Labubu, drinking our matcha, or whatever. Oh, hold on. I gotta write this timestamp down. That way I can fucking put that in there, because that's great. That's a visual I need to have. Hold on. It's like, but, all jokes aside, this is like advertisement slop. There's advertisements, stuff about taxes. Naturally, it's tax season. Yeah, there's so many scantily dressed women or underdressed or erotically showcased characters on in my advertisements, and some of them are even like ASMR videos. I don't want erotic ASMR videos. I use that shit to go to sleep, man. I've never been the type. I like when gorgeous women do ASMR. Like, come on, But I'm not deriving any debauchery or any depraved purpose out of this, but it's being shoved on me, and I don't want it to be. But I don't like. There's no easy way to make it go away, or not conventional, not readily accessible at one or two finger taps away. You could go into your settings, you could go into your advertisements, you could delete your watch history or your search history or whatever, and those are prompt methods. Those are proper methods, but they're not. You have to go out of your way to get this shit off your feed, and that makes me upset because I never asked for that, and I never even bought into it. But it insists upon itself, like, it insists that it needs to exist, and it doesn't, because it's not productive. It's not providing a service that are different. It would be different if these were regular game ads, but I don't even get regular game ads anymore unless it's a AAA title, and that in of itself is already irritating. If I'm going to play a new modern game, it has to be, a sponsor in a video I watch, because that's not the shit that's being pushed onto me by the YouTube ad algorithm, right? I got a video about Nazi Germany, of course, right? In there, artificial intelligence, ASMR, all this stuff. Okay, so this is just YouTube, right? Falling asleep to your needy girlfriend's sweet kisses. Son. Son. I know there are the corollary videos where men make erotic, autonomous sensory meridian response videos. Or is it autosomal? No, I think it's autonomous. But yeah. What was I saying? Yeah, I know there are men that make those sorts of videos, but this sort of shit is just, oh, come on. It's it's so low. It's so low, and I dislike it so greatly. And I have to laugh about it. And I was scrolling through this earlier. This has been just 20 minutes of continuous scrolling, by the way. So I did about 10 minutes beforehand of just looking at what's being pushed to me. What am I being urged to watch? Not that I watch. That chick looks like Alyssa Liu. She had her hair done up pretty much. She had her hair done up pretty much the exact same way. Anyway, Panic at the Disco music video. So I do get some normal stuff, but pretty much all the advertisements are these characters or some exposition. I just And I guarantee if I go on another app, it'll be the same thing. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do that now. Oh my goodness. I'm seeing artificially intelligent quotes. I'm seeing artificially intelligent or artificially generated videos. I'm seeing memes about AI created by AI. I'm seeing political stuff. This is Facebook, by the way. Fake news talking about they're making another Xbox console. Yeah, or they're coming out with a new one right now. Just blatant misinformation. Badwill instead of goodwill. What is it? It's garbage. It's just eye-catching nonsense that's supposed to elicit that response where it's hey, that's not right. Kind of adjacent to the uncanny, where you see something that's not right and you have a Pepto-Bismol pie? What the fuck am I looking at? I'm done. I'm done with Facebook, bro. Oh, Pepto-Bismol pie. That wasn't artificial intelligence, or at least I don't think it was. So lo and behold, oh, that's incredible. Oh my god, that's Pepto. Oh, I'll make that if this video gets 10 likes. I'll make Pepto-Bismol pie. That's incredible. Opening Twitter. I'm not calling it the letter app. Opening Twitter, just artificial intelligence everywhere. I'm going to keep this video short and pretty much end here. You're literally surrounded by garbage. Not life affirming, not nothing, there's some wholesome content, there's entertaining content, but for every bad scrolls there being a good scroll. That's a 1 to 4, 1 to 5 ratio. For such, I don't know, I spend a lot of time on my phone, I am absolutely certain of that, but I just I'm trying to get away from the rectangle of death scrolling. I use it for socialization. If you're using it for socialization, there are varying opinions. I talk to my friends all the time. I'm going to leave it at that neutral. I'll always pick up a text from my friends. I'll always talk to my friends. I'll always share my ideas with my friends. But just scrolling needlessly, I've never been a needless scroller. If I'm on social media, I usually try to find relevant content, but that deviated in the past couple years where I do fall into the trap of looking for entertaining content. um, trying to find content that just gives me that dopamine hit. Whereas, like, when I first installed TikTok, it was really just to, I don't know. For me, it was like productive entertainment. Like me, like watching a basketball game is productive entertainment because I like keeping track of statistics. To me, that's intellectual stimulation. Like I like seeing the demographics, the shot demographics, right? I like seeing the lineups people use, like the ethos they take, the offensive schemes, right? That's why I like football, because there's all these different types of covers, and then there's all these different formations that I can dissect and pick apart. Um, I can, you know, I see how positions are lined up. I see how people, you know, stack the line, or they'll do open offsets, they'll do trips, they'll do whatever, right? That to me is productive because it's intellectually stimulating to me, as well as being entertained, like as well as being entertaining, right? And I mentioned this. I think I mentioned this last video, but I've started reading again to have that like consistent. Always, assuming you're picking up a good book, right, and you're picking up something with a lot of value. Um, to have that uninterrupted good, to have that good input that can't be broken by bad scrolls or whatever, or people being stupid online, right? Um, yeah, but every time I try to read, my terrible rectangle is always buzzing. And I'm trying to create distance from it, but it latches onto you. It's got its hooks in me, and I'm trying to break that. And this is not a slight against technology at all. I love technology. My phone gives me the capability to do a lot of the shit that I do. But in the same right, like, I overuse it, and it has an effect on me, right? And like, I make attempts to socialize with people that couldn't give a damn about me, and people are busy, so I need to create that distance and, like, I don't know, do things that are more productive. I try to be productive frequently. Like, I read a lot of Wikipedia articles, and I try to intake a lot of information about foreign language and whatnot. Social media is really good for language exposition, absolutely. And just cultural exposition, right? But in the same vein, it also tears you down, and it can introduce you to things that make approaching things from a neutral standpoint hard, right? Like, if I have a view of a certain country because of how videos paint it, India is a great example where the Western world has demonized the beauty of India, and they take you to the poorest suburbs and they show you trash on the streets, as if that does not happen in the United States. And they make this assertion. It's like, well, we're not saying anything racist, or we're not implying anything racist. We just put these pictures up here. I didn't make any assertions about India. Oh, I say they have trash on the street because I have this picture where they have trash on the street. And it's intellectually dishonest, but there's no good way to counter it, because you have to insist that they're doing what they're doing, but they'll always deny it, and they'll always have that plausible deniability, right? And me, I'm trying to distance myself from that stuff, and come back to the foundations, go back to the ethos. Why do I learn? Why do I want to, like, intake information? Why do I want to build a portfolio of knowledge, right? Oh god, I sound like that guy in the fucking garage. Knowledge, right? No, and I obviously, I don't want to be like that guy either, right? The guy's a huge prick. But, and he's doing it for a financial scheme. Of course, there's that too. But I like knowing things because I like knowing things, and things genuinely interest me, right? And when I become engaged in all this stuff that's menial, and I try to fit it into my own epistemology or ontology or whatever would be the correct word, and I try to apply it teleologically, then I have a nothing basket. So I'm trying to apply practical, things to know practically, and just intake knowledge that is more useful than what I was taking in before, right? By reading narratives, I become more accustomed with history if I'm reading the classics, and then, I have these books that I'm reading. Reading helps me get an insight into the English language more, and I'll always take that. My darling language, the English language that I use as my playground, for dialectical and lexical exploration, syntactic exploration as well, and yeah, I'm finding more use in that, and so I'm going to come to you here with a closing statement. Don't delete social media. Don't throw your phone away. Don't monitor how much. Don't take these extreme measures that cause you to drastically shift your habits. But, like, pick up a book, watch a movie with your phone on silent. Try to rebuild that attention span if you are someone like me. And even if you do have a good mastery over your discipline, maybe it's a good question to ask. Maybe it's a good assertion to withhold. Is what I'm learning about, is the information I'm taking in important? Can I apply it? Does it mean something to me? Is it honest? Is it a faithful representation of reality? Right. So, oh god, I turned this into another serious video. Fuck. Sorry, I'll do a proper shit posting video one of these days, I promise. I really like the idea with the King of the Carrot Flowers part 1, but it wasn't nearly as funny as I thought it was. I'll do something like that again. Or I'll post a cover of Blood Hail by Have a Nice Life, and it'll be really sad, and yeah, so stay on your feet. You never know what you can expect with my videos. Peace out. Thanks for listening. Deuces.